Stop, Bo. Bo, stop. What's up, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? What is going on, YouTube? Happy Wednesday. What's going on, Puppy Town? What is going on, Bo? No. How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing? It feels like I have not been on YouTube in a whole week, but it's literally been maybe a day or two. Our declaration is, you guys, Abby, you know what? I'm glad you said that, because I was about to say Abby, but then I'm like, well, maybe that may not be Abby, but I'm glad that you told me. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, y'all. I just now got back from working out, and God gave me this word. And so our declaration, for those of y'all that are tuning in, whether you are catching it now or on the replay, is I made it. Yeah. I made it. And so I'm going to say it to you. You made it. 2022, it is coming to an end. It's coming to a close. Yeah. An abrupt close. We have literally 2 more days until the tail end, the official end of the year 2000. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on. No. Sorry, y'all. My dog. I'm going to say it again. You made it. You made it. We have 3 days until it is official that the year of 2022 is over. Let me say it to you this way. You have 3 days until for some people look at 2022 as probably one of the roughest years of your life. So we'll say this. You have 3 days until the roughest year of your life officially comes to an end. You absolutely made it. I believe these last few days, I was having a moment earlier today, and I was having like what I call my Periscope, and my Haps people know this phrase, a remember when moment. I was definitely having a remember when moment. I got home from the gym and I just looked at my home, and all I could do was remember when it wasn't like this. I'm going to be real. Earlier this year, I moved. I was supposed to be getting a house. I'm going somewhere with this. I was supposed to be getting a house. And 3 days before closing, the deal fell through. 3 days before closing. So like, y'all can imagine like the pressure I felt to find a place to stay. I want to say I had maybe 2 more weeks until, it was maybe less than 2 weeks until my lease was over. And everywhere that I looked, they didn't have any openings. Nobody had any apartments available. And so I can remember, trying to figure out, because I lived on the 3rd floor at the time, how am I going to get my furniture out? I need some help, because no movers were available. None. Y'all, no movers were available to help me. Not one. Not one moving company was free to help move me out of the 3rd floor. And my dog was, at the time, before she passed away, she was on a downward spiral. Hey, Visha. And so I ended up having to sell my furniture. Yeah. So the sofa that I loved, didn't want to sell none of my furniture, to be real. And I sold the dining room table. Yeah. And I went and I just got some new sofas that they could deliver, because I knew that I didn't have the manpower to do it by myself. And it worked out. It worked out. Was it rough? Absolutely, but it worked out. But I can remember the sofas that I got. I don't know if y'all have ever experienced this. I felt like, God, maybe I didn't think this thing through. Because when the sofas got here, I'm like, I really don't like these sofas. I thought they were comfortable at the furniture place. Hey, stop. Sit down. I don't want to hear a peep. But I got back home, I got the sofas here. And I can remember move-in day when they delivered it. It was the same guys that had delivered the sofa that I had to sell. They moved the rest of my U-Haul. They moved everything out of my U-Haul into my apartment. Put up my bed. Yeah. But it was rough. And I can remember after it all happened, I was just like, God, I don't like these sofas. And I can remember I was telling Visha, I said, I felt so defeated. At the time, about a few months had passed, maybe a month had passed, a few weeks. I just lost my dog. And I literally felt like, God, it feels like stop. No, it felt like I was starting over. I don't know if any of y'all had some moments this year where it just felt like you went backwards. It felt like, God, what am I even doing? It's like I didn't even enjoy being home. I didn't like sitting on the sofas. They just were not comfortable. I thought I liked them, but they just really were not comfortable. About 2 months later, God, he told me, he said, tell the place you financed through that you're giving them back these sofas. And he allowed me to get my old sofa back on sale. Then the only thing that was left was a dining room table. And I can remember just gradually as the years just been progressing, it's just been like God restoring little pieces of like what I lost, what I had to surrender. I walked in my house this afternoon after I worked out, 3 dogs. Yeah. 3. But I walked in, and I'm going to just be real. I looked at the date, and all I could say was, thank you, Lord. I made it. And I believe that there are some of y'all, you got that same testimony. Thank you, God. I simply made it through the roughest year of my life. God understands that this year took a toll on a lot of people. He understands that not only did the year take a toll on a lot of people, but he knows many of us were on the verge of like throwing in the towel and giving up. And so he wanted me to get on here to remind you, there were moments this year where I really thought I wasn't going to make it. I really and truly thought that I wasn't going to make it because it was so much happening. It was so much going on that for a split second, I literally thought, am I even going to make it to the end of this year? Because it was just so many different things happening back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Yeah. But we have 3 days until it's officially over. It's already over. I don't know who needs to hear that. The roughest year of your life is already over. So let these last 3 days of this year be a time of reflection and be a time of rejoicing. Because as I stated in the beginning, you made it. You made it through every single thing that was meant to destroy you. You made it through every single setback that happened to you this year. You made it through every single storm, every single test that you had to pass. You simply made it. And God is saying, it's over. It's done with. Rejoice and reflect. Because it's like as you reflect on the fact that you simply made it and that life for a lot of us, it looks a lot better than it did when the year started. When you think about it like that, you can't be anything but grateful. You can't be anything but excited for all that God is about to do because the worst of the worst is over with. I'm going to say it again. The worst of the worst It is over with. And as we end these last 3 days of this year, for a lot of people, you're going to have some remember when moments. But for a lot of people, you're going to have some pick it back up again moments where literally God is going to give you either what you had to surrender or what you lost, or you're going to begin to notice you picking your dreams back up again, picking your goals back up again. Even for me this week, even with the things, I was talking to my graphic designer. Last year, I did not work with him at all. I didn't. I was going through too much. I was not inspired. I was struggling financially a good portion of this year. And I'm just really being transparent. I really was. I was barely getting by. I was. And I was talking to him about it. It was yesterday, I believe. And we were talking about it. And all I could hear when the phone call ended, because God was saying, start back working with him this year. All I heard was God saying, you're picking back up what you had to lay aside this year. As you end this year, you will pick back up your dreams, the vision I've given you, your goals, your aspirations. And as we do that, God says his grace is meeting us. It's sufficient enough. It is covering us to the degree where we don't just get to pick back up and struggle, but we get to pick back up the things, that we lost, and we get to see God breathe on those things. You made it. I know it sounds like a simple word, but those 3 words speak so many volumes with a lot of us. You made it. You made it through, losing a job. You made it through homelessness. You made it through sleeping in your car. That's for several people. You made it through getting your heart broken this year. You made it through betrayals this year. You made it through unexpected, attacks this year. You made it through all the things, even though you lost some people physically from this earth, or you still made it. And that's a lot. It's more than enough to give God praise for. I say that to say, let these last 3 days be 3 days where you're expecting God to move. Let these last 3 days be moments where you are reflecting on all that God brought you through this year. Let these last 3 months, 3 days of this year, my bad, not 3 months, 3 days of this year, let it be a time where you prepare to soar in 2023. It's your Jordan year. Let it be a time where you are getting yourself into position, where you are doing every single thing that you feel you need to do to make it. And that's the word. You made it. Point blank, period. You made it. You made it. Now tell God thank you. That's the word. I'm not going to add anything to it, and I'm not going to take away anything from it. What I do ask is that you guys like this video. If you're watching here on YouTube, even if you're watching on a replay, just hit that like button if this word has blessed you. To those of you guys that feel led to sow, you can sow a gratitude seed or a I made it seed. The ways to sow are in the bio. Well, not the bio. They're in the description of every single video. You can sow via PayPal. You can sow via the Cash App. And that's it. You sow according to what God leads you to sow. But you label this your I made it seed. And that's the broadcast. Listen, I love y'all. I am rooting for y'all. And so until next time, y'all. Peace.